Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today, we're looking at marine radar and ARPA, seeing through the dark. This is part one, so let's just go ahead and set the scene. Picture yourself on the bridge of a massive cargo ship, right? It's 3 a.m., thick fog. Zero visibility. You can't even see your own bow. But here's the truly terrifying part. Somewhere out there, in that pitch black water, is another vessel on a direct collision course with you. You can't see it, you can't hear it, and obviously, one wrong move means total disaster. So how do you actually avoid a collision you literally can't see? Well, 60 years ago, officers had to navigate this kind of nightmare with manual math and a whole lot of hoping for the best. But today, we have a technology, first invented before World War II actually, that can see right through that fog. It calculates exactly when you'll collide if nobody moves. And that tech is marine radar. At its core, marine radar operates on this wonderfully simple physical concept called the echo principle. Because your ship is completely blind in the fog, the radar essentially, it shouts into the dark with radio waves and listens really, really carefully for an answer to bounce back. Let's actually walk through this sequence step by step because it makes the complex physics feel like a pretty simple logical procedure. Okay, step one, your ship's radar antenna sends out a powerful pulse of radio waves. Step two, that pulse travels outward until it hits something physical in the environment, like, say, that unseen ship headed your way, and then it bounces off of it. Step three, the radar's receiver catches that returning bounce, or echo, and calculates the distance based on the time delay. So that's the echo principle right there. You're measuring the time between transmitting an electromagnetic pulse and receiving its reflection, and then converting that time into distance. The radar basically acts like a hyper-precise stopwatch. It tracks the round trip of those radio waves in milliseconds. And since we know exactly how fast radio waves travel, which is the speed of light, the longer that echo takes to return, the farther away the object is. The system runs a constant formula, and once it does the math, boom, it plots a blip on your screen. But there's a catch. Raw radar just detects blips, right? It just tells you an obstacle is out there somewhere. In a busy shipping lane, you might literally have dozens of blips on your screen at once. Enter ARPA, the Automatic Radar Plotting Aid. This is the analytical brain of the operation. It takes what the radar detects and then tracks multiple targets automatically, calculating their speed, their course, and most importantly, the collision risk. Now, what's really interesting about this ARPA interface is how some of those blips have little lines extending out from them. Those are velocity vectors. ARPA takes the raw echoes provided by the radar and acts like an incredibly advanced ocean chess engine. It's actively tracking up to 100 different targets simultaneously, analyzing their movement with every single turn of the radar antenna. So it doesn't just track, it predicts. It automatically acquires targets, figures out their exact speed and course, and computes the exact geometry of a potential collision. It calculates the CPA, or closest point of approach, which tells you the exact minimum distance two vessels will reach. And then there's the TCPA, the time to closest point of approach. That gives you a literal countdown clock to that exact moment. It even sets off audible and visual alarms for targets that pose a genuine risk. Pretty amazing. Okay, let's do a quick check-in here. We know radar tells us where a target is, how fast it's moving, and exactly when we might hit it. But does radar alone tell you who that target is? Like, can it give you the actual name of the vessel it's detecting? Take a second to think about it. The answer is no. Radar sees blips. It doesn't know names. It shows you a blip's range and bearing, and that's it. It really doesn't care if the metal object bouncing its radio waves back is a massive 300-meter crude oil tanker or just some tiny 20-meter fishing boat. Identifying the vessel by name requires an entirely different system called AIS, which we're going to get to soon. All right, let's summarize what we've got so far. Radar detects objects in total darkness using the echo principle, and ARPA layers automatic tracking right on top of that. But what happens when you aren't just in fog, but in a massive, violent thunderstorm that threatens to blind your radar entirely? Well, in part 2 of this explainer, we're going to cover the two radar bands you actually have to choose between, X-band and S-band, to see which one actually punches through severe weather. We'll also dive way deeper into those two numbers, CPA and TCPA, that turn a simple blip into a real collision decision. You definitely don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching and keep learning.